This is day 1 of 20 days of learning with Illustrator. Let's go learn the pen tool. The pen tool is found on the toolbar over here. It looks just like this. You can also access the pen tool by using P on your keyboard as a keyboard command. The primary function of the pen tool is that I can draw simple shapes simply by clicking my mouse. To finish a shape, I just click on the very beginning anchor. Each of my clicks represents a separate anchor within my shape. I can also hit enter if I want to finish off a shape, but notice when I do that, it does not complete the shape. This can have an impact on some of the tools that you might use in Illustrator later. As you draw with the pen tool, the anchors you create can either be corners or smooth. It's easy to create the smooth anchors simply by clicking and dragging away. While you draw with the pen tool, it's also very helpful to know about the selection tool and the direct selection tool. The selection tool allows us to select the objects that we've worked with, and we can transform them by rotating or scaling or moving them around. This can help a lot as we're drawing. The direct selection tool, or white arrow, allows us to select individual anchors. That way we can move them around. It also allows us to use the tools right up here at the top toolbar to change the anchors from corner to smooth, also from smooth to corner. When working with a smooth anchor and the direct selection tool, you can actually manipulate these handles to adjust the curve in many different ways. You can also hold Alt to adjust these handles to move only one handle at a time. This is helpful when you're trying to draw a shape and get a specific angle or a specific curve. There are two ways that you can remove an anchor in a shape that you've created. First, you'll want to select the anchor, and you can either click the Remove Selected Anchor Points, or you can select the anchor and simply hit the Delete key. Notice that when I use the delete key, it does not insert a stroke connecting the two anchors in between the anchor I deleted, whereas when I remove an anchor, it does actually create a stroke between the two anchors. Now let's take a look at how the pen tool could be applied in a real-life setting. For this exercise, I'm going to trace a photo to create a simple icon using the pen tool. Now for setup, I'll need to import a photo, so that's the first step I took here. Then I want to zoom in on whatever object I'm going to trace. I'm just holding Alt and using my scroll wheel to zoom in. You can also use Control plus or Control minus. Last thing for setup is I'm going to go to my Layers panel, open up the properties by double-clicking my layer and turning this into a template. That just sets some specific settings that make tracing a little bit easier. Now, before I start drawing, I will need to add one more layer for my drawing. I'll start by clicking my first anchor point and then drawing along the shark tooth. Now, sometimes it may be a little tricky to know when to add a curve or when to add a corner, but really this just takes practice and you'll get the hang of it the more you do it. Keep in mind as you draw that you can also adjust these anchors after. In fact, what I usually like to do when I'm tracing like this, I like to select the object, bring down the opacity so I can see through it. That way, if I need to, I can use my direct selection tool to be able to adjust specific anchors to give me the exact shape that I want. Now, there's more to this shark tooth that I could do if I really wanted to, but for now, I think that illustrates the point that we're trying to get across about using the pen tool.